Welcome back to Wagner Sound Lab. This is part 3 of my Notadumble series. In part 1 I built the pedal from the JHS kit, and in part 2 I did a quick demo of the pedal using single coil guitar and humbucker guitar, so you can see, or you can hear both channels of the Notadumble pedal. Today we're going to look at some gain stacking options, and I'm going to focus on the clean channel of this pedal because the clean channel, as described in the last video I did, is basically a replication of the box later circuit that John Mayer uses on his pedal board, and I believe it's more of a lift to the clean channel, basically. So I think I had said in the last video that when you're gain stacking this, it would probably be a good idea to put the Notadumble before your gain pedals, but I actually think that in the signal chain it should probably go after. The general rule of thumb when you're stacking pedals is the very last pedal in your chain is going to determine what your overall sound is like. For example, if you have a Klon into a tube screamer, the tube screamer sound is going to come through because it's the last pedal in the chain. Now the Klon pedal before it is going to influence how that tube screamer sounds, but overall the sound is going to be tube screamer and not Klon. Let me switch over to the pedal view here. So what I've got is I've got the Notadumble last in the chain, and I wanted to push various topologies through it. So my Pedal Pawn Bluesprint has a blues breaker on the left side, and it has a tube screamer circuit on the right. So this pedal kills two birds with one stone. And then of course I have one of my Klon clones. This is the RYRA clone, and this is regarded as one of the best or the better Klon clones out there for sure. Quick signal chain here. I'm using my Les Paul. This is my Pro or Epiphone. And I'm using it because I can also split the humbucker so I can get some single coil sounds, so I won't have to switch guitars. That goes into the three pedals that you see here, and those go into my ISP decimator to knock out some of the hum. This is a small room and has a lot of electronics, and there's a lot of hum sometimes, so I've got the decimator in place, and then that goes into a Dream 65, Universal Effects Dream 65. That's my amp, and from there it goes straight into my DAW. So the amp sound without any pedals engaged, that's bridge, and I cleaned this up from the last video. I wanted this to be as pristine clean as I could get. Bridge, middle, so real quick, let's go over how these two pedals sound, or three pedals sound, without the Notadumble engaged. So this is the blues breaker. And I believe I've got that pretty close to unity gain, or unity volume. Maybe go up on the volume a little bit. As y'all know, the blues breaker is a transparent overdrive. It doesn't have a mid hump like the tube screamer does. Here's the tube screamer side. And I'm not pushing a lot of gain on these pedals. I just want to give it a little bit of dirt. Because when you're gain stacking, you want to back off on each pedal and kind of tweak them so that, you know, they complement each other and one's not overriding the other. And then here's the Klon by itself. Now I'm not using the Klon as a boost in this context. I've got the gain turned up past noon, which engages the clipping diodes. If you as you turn it down, those clipping diodes disappear out of the circuit. So in order to hear the diodes, you've got to turn it up past, I would certainly past noon. I would say right around 2 o'clock is where you really start to hear those diodes kick in. So getting back to it, here is the clean, and then I'm going to engage the clean channel of the Notadumble. So you can see it gives everything kind of a lift, which is... Alright, so let's put the blues breaker circuit in front of that. So you can still hear the being transparent. The blues breaker circuit basically just gives the Notadumble a little more lift and starts to break up a little bit better. These circuits are generally used as an always-on. At least I use them that way. I kind of got the idea from Josh Scott. He uses his Morning Glory, and it's basically, he sets it so that it puts his amp at edge of breakup, and then he, downstream from that, he's got his other gain pedals, and I think he uses a Klon, and, you know, basically in the clipping mode, you know, with the gain turned up past noon for his drive. So it's actually a really good combination. Let's see what it sounds like with the tube screamer in front of it. Now the tube screamer has a mid hump, so it's a little, you know, mid forward. And finally, in this configuration, let's turn the Klon on. Klon is a hard clipping circuit, so there's a little bit more dirt. Back to the tube screamer. Now, of course, you can use the Notadumble to drive the amp into breakup if you turn the output volume all the way up, especially on bridge pickup. But I kind of like it backed off probably around, let's say, 11 o'clock. Because then it plays nice with the other gain pedals in front of it. I'm going to rearrange these, and we're going to put the Notadumble in front of these pedals and see how they react with it driving the Blues Breaker, the Tube Screamer, and the Klon circuit. So I'll be right back.
A few moments later.
And we are back. So now I have the Notadumble first in the chain, so we're going to see how it behaves, boosting the other pedals. So again, here is the amp without any pedals engaged. Okay, we'll engage the Notadumble. Alright, let's go with the Blues Breaker first. Let's turn the volume up, see if it... It's not bad, actually. I think you could honestly put it either before or after your drive. I think you'll get usable tone out of it. Let's sweep the EQ, or the input rather. The input, like I said in the previous video, is really, it changes the impedance of the pedal, and it's a very subtle tone shift. So as you turn it down, it gets a little brighter. Turn it all the way up. It kind of rolls off a little bit of the high end, but it's a very, very subtle effect. See how it sounds driving the Tube Screamer. Again, driving the Tube Screamer sounds pretty good. It's a very usable tone. And let's see how it sounds driving the Klon. Try the Tube Screamer again. Now you'll notice when you're using the Notadumble to drive these other pedals, I had the gain backed off when the pedal was driving the Notadumble, and that was because you were adding gain. But it seems like you need to add gain back. For example, leave the Notadumble where it's at, but you probably need to add a little bit more gain on the pedal that the Notadumble's feeding. Again, subtle changes make a big difference. Let's add a little bit more drive to that. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Very usable tone. I'll be right back. Alright, just for fun, I've got everything ranged back the way that it was, so we've got the Notadumble last in the chain, and I'm going to see how these pedals stack into the dirt channel. So I've got the dirt channel engaged. Alright, so let's put the blues breaker into it. That's very usable. And of course, when you're stacking into a drive circuit, the pedal that you're using to boost the drive circuit, you want to probably back off the gain or the drive a little bit. Because if you turn the drive all the way up, I mean because the blues breaker circuit's a little transparent, that's actually not bad if you turn the drive all the way up. But I kind of like it back around 2 o'clock. Alright, let's here's the tube screamer circuit into the Notadumble dirt channel. Very usable tone. And this is common. A lot of high gain players will put a tube screamer in front of their, Bachners or, even Marshalls and Mesas to tighten the sound up. So this is without the tube screamer. And finally, here's the Klon into the Notadumble dirt channel. And then here we probably do want to back the gain down just a hair. So there you have it. Here's some gain stacking options for your Notadumble. Of course, there are probably many others we could have tried. I could have put I could have taken one of my amp in a box pedals and fed it through to see how that reacted. To be honest with you, with all of those combinations, we could be here for a week. I would think that because the Notadumble gives that Dumble amp sound, the best place for it is last in the chain so that you have that sound and you use other pedals to boost both the clean and the drive channel accordingly. You know, everybody's complaining about the foot switch, the lack of a foot switch rather, on this to switch between the two. I don't see this pedal as like a clean dirty or like the Bluesprint where you got one side or the other. I think that if you put this in the chain, it's going to be used for a specific purpose. I would put it at the end of the chain with the clean channel engaged, and then I would use the other drive pedals to drive it. So I hope this demonstration has given you some ideas on how you can stack various overdrive topologies with the Notadumble. Again, this is not the end-all be-all. There's many combinations that you could use out there. For me to test them all, it would require a week's worth of filming. But these are the most common topologies of overdrive pedals that are out there. We could put a rat in front of it. We could put a Marshall in a box in front of it. We could put a metal zone in front of it. We could put fuzz faces, you know, the various fuzzes rather in front of it. The fuzz face, the electroharmonics, big muff, all of that. It would just be too much. Again, I picked the three most common topologies that are out there. So again, I hope this video has been helpful in demonstrating that. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Please like and subscribe. If you opt to do so, that would be much appreciated. And have a great day all. Thank you.